Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unscripted. This is where I, Krooked, take an unscripted look at the game and give it a 1 through 10 score. You know what game this is. You know what game this is. You didn't need to see the title screen. For anyone who, for some reason, doesn't know, Chrono Trigger is one of the most popular and beloved games from the Super Nintendo. It's an action RPG game that is just known for storytelling, known for how interactive the game is, and known for art being done by Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I know the story of this game. I'm more interested in showing you like what it kind of looks like overall, so I'm not going to be going through all of the text in this. I've been working really hard trying to figure out the best way to do RPGs like this, Final Fantasies, stuff like that. And the best way is really to play it as quickly as possible, just ignoring the text, because I know what they're saying, I know what to do. So, as we start off the game, you get introduced to Chrono, and as you can tell, if you can read that fast, or if you slow it down, Chrono got introduced to go see his friend Luca's new invention. Her new invention happens to be at the Millennial Fair. It's a robot named Robo. And you can do a bunch of stuff at the fair. You can buy items, you can talk to people, like buy tonics, revives, so you can do a whole bunch. I'm not going to do any of that, because if you're a first-time person playing this, ideally you should talk to anyone, but you'll be back here. So yeah, you're going through, you're checking everything out, and you're like, oh, okay, he lives on the continent east, come see me sometime. Eventually, you'll make your way up and talk to Marl. I think that's how you pronounce her name. If it's not, please correct me in the comments. And, you know, she has a pendant, and this basically sets off the entire chain of events that happens where you and your party time travel. That's the gist of Chrono Trigger without spoiling everything. And it all kind of gets set off by this moment and their meeting. And for normal people playing this game who have never played it before, who don't exactly know what to do, what they're doing, it's going to take a while. This might take you a half hour, a little bit longer than that to actually get through it, and that can be daunting for people, especially people who don't really like to get into the story of games. It teaches you a lot of the mechanics, though. For instance, if you run into Gato here, you get to fight. And when you start fighting, you immediately start to see how this game comes together. How it's kind of like a Final Fantasy, because, you know, it has the weight or the active bar for when you get to go. You have MP, you have HP. And when it's your turn, you have items, tech, and attack. Except you can kind of choose which one you want to attack with a bit easier, and there's no set positioning for your characters. They're not like front row, back row, or anything like that. It's just having them in your party. And there's a lot of stuff that can happen with this game. So as you get more characters, you'll be able to get techs or techniques. What the techniques do are kind of like your magic from Final Fantasy games, where they can heal, do damage, and stuff. You also get like crossover techniques, where you will have two characters do a technique together, and it does a ton more damage. That brat Luca. How rude. And that's kind of what sets this all apart from Final Fantasy. It still kind of has that fantasy world that you're used to from Final Fantasy, and it has the overall art style in the world of Final Fantasy. Like, if you look at this, you go, okay, it's instead of fully top-down, it's a bit more of a side view. Character sprites are a little bit more detailed, but overall, it is very similar to Final Fantasy. I'm trying to remember where Lucas' house is. That's what I have forgotten. If you're wondering, you're like, why is Krooked being an idiot here? He said he knows this. That's right, she's at the fair. So, when you do all this, eventually what happens is they start traveling in time, and the first thing that happens anytime you travel in time is the first question that comes up is, how do we get back home? So, majority of this game is covering how to get back to their time, and the plot is massive. To give you an example, it's one of the longest games I've personally ever played. It's very, very, very time consuming. There's, I think, 7 different endings that you can get, and it all depends on different factors. With that, I remember it being pretty easy to get all the endings. Like, there's a lot of difficult tasks that you may have to do, but at the end of the day, it's nothing that is hard. Like, you're not going to have to restart your save every single time you want to do it. You would want to follow a guide, of course, that would tell you how exactly you unlock each ending, what the save points are, what the points of no return are for them. And that's really going to be one of the best things to help you out in this. Other than that, with the story, it's great. It does have some frustration points. Like, for this, I think I actually have to go talk to everyone. There's another event that I have to do or something. I don't remember exactly what. So now I'm going to walk around and try to figure that out while I continue the rest of the review to kind of show you everything here. So with this, in terms of like the battling in this game is great. If you're a fan of any sort of turn-based battles, you're going to enjoy this. If you happen to like Final Fantasy, like this is a shoo-in. You're going to love this game. If you don't like Final Fantasy because it's a bit too slow-paced for you, you might want to check out Chrono Trigger. It is a little bit slow-paced still, but it is so good. But as you can see, there's a lot of reading. And you can probably skip some of this, but it can take a while. And she buys some candy, blah, 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 and then we move on. So, Super Dimension Warp. He's talking about how everything... So, Luca made a teleporter. Give it a try, kid. So, Chrono goes over, talks to Luca. She's like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, let's try it. And... does he actually teleport, or does he just get created in a new location? Then you convince Marl to do it, and that pendant that I talked about earlier sets everything off. Has this vision of loveliness. Like, everyone is freaking out about that. So... the battling system is fantastic in this for any of the old school turn-based RPG games. In terms of the graphics, you're not getting better graphics than this on the Super Nintendo no matter what. It still holds up today. You can play this game on a high-def TV and it's still going to look gorgeous, which you can't say about a lot of games. Like, there's some that hurt. Earthbound hurts your eyes. This isn't like that. This is much better. In terms of story, again, there's a ton of different endings. There's so much story to this game. And it is so good. If you're looking for a story, you're going to get it here. You're going to find it. You're going to love it. It's going to be a great time. Sound, just like a Final Fantasy. A lot of people give this game the praise that it has, and you don't really hear people talk about it being overrated or, that it's an inflated score, because really, Chrono Trigger is that good. It has a very, very long setup. And by this point, if you take your time and you just kind of relax and pace yourself, you're probably like an hour, maybe even 2 into the game at this point. There are going to be people who say, oh no, by this point I was here, here, and here, but that's not how most people new to a game would do it. And after the frustration points of not knowing who to talk to, that can make it take even longer, and that can be really off-putting. But once you get past the opening, you get treated to some of the greatest gameplay available on the Super Nintendo. And I really, really want to show you how quickly it can take off. So immediately, I'm teleported somewhere and these things show up. Oh, I should have healed. But it's okay. They're weak. They're supposed to be weak. I should survive, hopefully. That one's gone, and the final one. Alright. I can select which one I want to attack, but I don't have a reason to. So I have the pendant. I have nothing else. I have 1 tech. I have no way to heal myself. This is great. So, yeah, you get to explore and walk around, and it's an overworld map. There's random battles, and they're random battles, but they're not random battles. Like, they're planned in a lot of situations, depending on certain points. Sometimes there'll be like an enemy on the map itself, and you'll run into that. And it's just so good. The worst thing about this game, if you had to pick anything, is it can be overwhelming. It can be really overwhelming, especially knowing how many endings there are and everything else that happens. But as you play the game, you just fall more and more in love, and I really recommend everyone tries to play it. Although, if you can find a way to play it mobile, it's probably going to be a better experience than if you try to play it sitting down. Just because it's kind of shown its age in the sense of, do I want to sit down and play a game where I'm reading text all the time on my couch, or do I want to play something else? So it's a little bit better, I think, on mobile, but play it no matter what. For the score, there's nothing else I can give this game. Chrono Trigger gets a solid 10 out of 10. And I talked to that person like 4 times. So thank you guys for tuning in to this review of Chrono Trigger. I'm sure not many people are going to disagree. If you do, let me know why. If you haven't played it, let me know why. And let me know what games you want to see me review down in the comments below. I was thinking about maybe making a Patreon if you would want some early access. Right now I'm thinking like video uploads are basically every Saturday, so around there. So let me know there. Like this video, subscribe so you don't miss any other Unscripteds, and I will see you in the next Unscripted. Bye!